6 years ago, I used to go to different high schools to help out with a bunch of my cheerleading friends. And then it occurred to me, we needed to make it a little bit more official. So while in school, I started Cheer Tumbling Dynamics to be able to provide training services for any and all cheerleading programs that needed it. Part of what makes my job fantastic are the awesome kids that I get to encounter and work with every day. We have a great staff. We get to meet the wonderful coaches and try to help them bring their passion to life and focus on their goals. And so I think, to me, what makes it fantastic to be working in cheerleading training is that you're making every athlete better every day that you get to work with them. So our training is very interesting and a little different than what your traditional cheer programs provide. We're very, very focused on the holistic approach, which is that we're not only trying to get you to attain a skill, but we're trying to get you to perfect that set skill. And there's a lot that goes into that. I think that oftentimes people think, I want to get a back handspring, and so they're like, so I need to come into the gym for how many hours to get this back handspring? Like, there's a back handspring and there's a well-executed back handspring, and we really, really, really try to fine-tune that when we do our training by always covering our basics, by always making sure that once they attain a skill that they keep progressing to perfecting the technique so that when the next skill set comes, then they're ready to really master their next set of skills. Another interesting thing about our training is I did write a book that is targeted for cheerleaders to really help them enhance their performance outside of practice, which then makes them a better athlete overall too. I think one of the key things that they learn to walk away with is how to deal with fear. We have a 3-step approach here at Cheer TD. The first step is identifying that there's an issue, whether it's an external source or trauma that would cause that. The second step is figuring out if there's a way that we can work around those fears, rather it's somebody lowering your confidence by telling you that you can't, or you feeling intimidated by other athletes. And then we try to figure out, okay, this is the source of the issue, then now let's tackle it. So then step 3 is being able to take the I won't, I can't, and turning it into an I can. And to me, I think that's one of the best principles that we have, that we spread across the company and every athlete we get to work with. The hardest part of my job is trying to help the homogeneity in a team, because a team is consisted of anywhere from 8 to 35 kids, and you have to try to figure out a way to have a personal style to teach so that every kid can understand and maximize on the teachings that you have for them. So the most important thing to me that I see as a challenge in my day in and day out of training for cheer are motivating others, right? So motivation can come from anywhere. And so for me, it comes from helping each individual athlete find their strengths and then bringing that to the surface so that they can really help empower their team. The book is called Peak Performance. I think one of the biggest challenges of the sport is the progressions of skills over the years. So even when I was in school, the things that we were doing then seemed extremely difficult. And now, like doing a full up 25 years ago was like unheard of, and now doing a full up is like basic for most like junior high to high school level teams. And so I think the progressions of skills is happening at a very, very fast rate, and almost maybe a little faster than some teams can keep up with. So we really, really, again, try to focus on mastering their basics to help them to better excel each year as new skills come out, to help them try to overcome it and perform up to speed against their more challenging teams. I think that if you really, really want to do something, don't let anybody tell you that you can't. So rather it's something that is a stigma in your community and you're like, I want to do it, but I can't, like do it. Because I was on a co-ed team for over 5 years, and we had 10 guys and 10 girls. And we competed in Illinois in the co-ed division. And the way that our guys always put it was that they just wanted to do something that they loved, and they also did it for the girls. So I think that the idea is that they're doing cheer because they don't want to be around the girls, but I think that the truth is that they're doing it for the girls. So I say, go forth and do what you really love, because that makes all the difference in how happy you are in life. One thing that I think everybody should know is to put your kids in athletics as early as possible, because more often than not, I get an 8th grader that wants to be cheerleader, and so we start training, and then they always say, man, why didn't my mom make me do this earlier? So one thing I think that everybody should know is as early as kids can develop those motor skills, they need to be joining gymnastics and doing cheer programs. My advice to cheerleaders is don't let anybody tell you that you can't. Oftentimes, people will sell you short, not because they have malicious intents, but because they'll like take one look at you and they'll just kind of judge you and tell you what you can and can't do. And my advice to cheerleaders everywhere is people who have gotten the furthest, world champions, state champions, did not get there through an easy path, and they didn't get there without believing in themselves. So I think the most important advice is to really, really believe in yourself, and if you really want something, don't let anybody tell you anything. I think to me, another important aspect of cheerleading that I think has helped me to grow it as an individual are the leadership qualities that I've had to gain as a cheerleader. It led me to eventually become a captain of my team and MVP when I was in high school, and it's led me to also focus on my business and learning how to develop leaders through my staff and the kids that I train. I want them to be able to go to college, graduate from college, and be really, really strong leaders in whatever that means for them.